morning, and thank you for being here today. We are gathered here on the traditional territory of the signatories of Treaty 7. And I also want to acknowledge the Métis people who share a deep connection with this land. After 2 years of record high electricity prices in Alberta, the Alberta Electricity System Operator, the ISO, is due to submit their Market Pathways report. This report is scheduled to be in the minister's hands tomorrow. The report will include recommendations to the Minister of Affordability and Utilities and will inform the UCP's plan on market design, costs, and the role of new technologies in the future of Alberta's electricity sector. It will act as a blueprint for a sector that impacts every home and business across our province, which is why it's concerning that the UCP has rushed the market design process, shortening it from 2 years to 6 months. Given the UCP's track record, it is only fair that we begin this conversation by reviewing the facts. This is a government that has shown a serious lack of planning and a pattern of rash unilateral decisions about our electricity system. The UCP canceled the market reforms without offering credible alternatives. As a result, we have unreliable supply, and Albertans have watched electricity prices quadruple since 2018, with the highest point being last summer. Albertans pay some of the highest electricity rates in the country. The record high prices Albertans experienced last summer were a clear indication that we were facing supply constraints. And instead of focusing on alleviating these issues, the UCP imposed an unexpected moratorium on renewable supply, impacting 118 projects worth $33 billion in investment and 24,000 jobs. This has not only shaken the confidence of investors and increased uncertainty, but it also halted low-cost energy supply that would lower electricity bills for Albertans. Instead of planning for the future of the grid here at home, the Premier was playing politics and spending $8 million of taxpayers' money on ads in Ontario. Advertisements designed to elicit fear about a problem she perceives might happen 15 years from now, instead of focusing on the issues we need to handle as a province right now. Now, after 5 years of ideology and lack of planning, the government who delivered record high prices to Albertans is rushing a market reform process that was supposed to take 2 years to just 6 months. And they are keeping the recommendations behind closed doors. The UCP must be transparent and commit to making the ISO recommendations public. We cannot trust this government to stop making ideologically driven decisions that do not protect Albertans from price volatility. Albertans deserve to know the electricity system is being well thought through, and these decisions are not being made on half-baked ideas about nationalizing our electricity system, which will also shake investors' confidence in our province. To protect Albertans from volatile electricity prices, this government must focus on implementing solutions that will advance a reliable, affordable, and low-emissions grid. We are approaching the spring session of the legislature. The UCP needs to proclaim their own energy storage bill to allow utilities to own and operate storage facilities, which is supported by me and my colleagues at the Alberta NDP. This bill has been shelved for almost 2 years now and is denying Albertans of the affordability and reliability that comes from storage technology. Most importantly, the Premier and her cabinet need to stop this ideological witch hunt against renewables and fulfill the responsibility to protect Albertans by exploring all options that provide low-cost energy supply. Any decision regarding the future of Alberta's electricity market must be shared transparently and include robust consultation with the public. Utility companies have been making record profits over the last years, and now are the ones being invited to the table behind closed doors. That's why it is crucial that the minister shares the ISO's recommendations with the public. We need an electricity market that works to serve all Albertans. The path we choose today will set the tone for our electricity industry long into the future. The UCP must ensure their path prepares Alberta for the technologies of the future and not the past. Thank you, and I'm happy to take questions.
All right, thank you, Nagwan. We will now go to questions. Just a reminder for those joining us on the phone lines to use *9, and for those joining us on Zoom to use the raise hand function to get into the question queue. We will first start with questions in the room. Please state your name and outlet. Okay, perfect. We will now go, no questions in the room, so we'll now go online. Okay, Catherine, your line is open.
Taking my question. So you mentioned that like in the 2018, 2019, there was a move toward the capacity market, and that move had gotten reversed. So I'm just wondering, was there something that changed in the interim for that work, where it's I guess no longer considered relevant? Like yeah, I guess I don't know if that makes sense, but.
Yeah, I mean, the ISO back then, that was the recommendation, adding the capacity market. I think a lot has changed since then, and that's why we want to see what the recommendations are right now. This is an evolving conversation, and electricity is one of the highly evolving sectors right now in the world. Look, the idea is that we want to advance a reliable, affordable, and low emissions electricity grid in Alberta. And that we need diversity on the grid. We need all types of energy on the grid to ensure reliability. We will need renewables, we will need natural gas, we will need other options like geothermal and biomass and even hydrogen. And we also need to implement solutions and technologies that will enhance reliability. And that's why storage is important. And we've seen with that potential blackout in January, storage played a role in keeping the grid reliable. And I would even go further, and we need to build interties with other provinces to import when we need and also export down the road, which is a huge economic opportunity for Alberta.
Right, any follow-up?
Yeah, and well, you mentioned affordability and how it's quadrupled the power prices. I'm wondering, is there something that needs to be done in the interim if you think 6 months is too rushed for the rollout of this? Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, the process of consultation is rushed. That's what we were talking about. It was supposed to be a 2-year market reform, which we support. We want to see market reform for sure. We're just concerned about the way it's being done. It was supposed 2 years, and now it's 6 months. It's done behind closed doors. I mean, they did share a few things on the ISO website for sure, and we're pleased to see industry advising the minister, both from the renewable and non-renewable sector. But we want to see voices that protect Albertans from price volatility. We're concerned there aren't enough and independent voices that will protect Albertans from that price volatility. And then considering just the history of this government with electricity just in the last few years, we just don't think the process is adequate to provide that input, and we want it to be a transparent process. And I missed the rest of your question, Catherine.
No, that was everything nice for that help.
All right, thank you. Karina, your line is open.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go. We can hear you.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, thanks for taking my question. You did touch on this already, but we did receive a statement from ISO, which basically says, you know, the recommendations that it's giving to the provinces contains confidential advice. So if you could just maybe walk through more why you think it's important that, you know, these recommendations and the report is made public.
this is a publicly funded agency, and we've seen a government that is interfering with this agency and many other public institutions. And just because of the sheer and volatile prices that we've seen in electricity, I believe Albertans deserve to know what the government is deciding on their behalf, especially that we're missing independent voices to protect the consumer, that is the Albertans, and also just the way the process has been rushed. It was supposed to be 2 years, and now it's just 6 months. And also, again, this is about protecting Albertans. We are paying some of the highest electricity rates in the country. We've seen a government imposing a moratorium on low-cost energy supply, specifically renewables. And if for a government that's really pro-business, it intervened in the market, it is meddling in the market, and renewables are some of like a low-cost energy source. So if we're talking about protecting Albertans from electricity prices, we need more of that low-cost energy supply in the market. And we want them to explore all options to reduce the electricity prices on Albertas.
Any follow-up?
Yeah, just a quick, if you could just walk us through maybe what else you know about that 6-month consultation process. What was that specifically between ISO and the province? Just tell me more about that.
We don't know enough. I mean, you can see it on the website. The government put together with the ISO an executive working group. Again, we are pleased to see industry advising the government, both from renewable energy companies and non-renewable energy companies. We want to see more voices, independent voices that protect the consumer, protect Albertans, and speak on their behalf in that group. There was some information, of course, shared on the website, but we don't have enough information on it. And just considering this history of ideologically driven decisions that this government has shown, imposing a moratorium, flirting with the idea of nationalizing the electricity market, really spreading misinformation, such as, we do not even produce renewables during winter while we were producing 2,000 megawatts the other day, mid of the day, from renewables. So it's just, this is a government, and the Premier herself has shown a deep lack of understanding of the electricity system and how it works. She seems to be bewildered by that the sun doesn't shine at night and the wind doesn't blow sometimes. So again, this is about creating a diverse mix of energy supply on the grid, along with technologies that will enhance the stability and the reliability on the grid. So we want to see, and we want to see experts and electricity watchers commenting on the ISO's recommendations that they're coming forward with.
All right, last pass for questions. Okay, with no more questions, that concludes our press conference. Thanks, folks.